What's up, YouTube and Rumble? We are back with day 23 in the Book of Revelation with my co-host.
What?
You want to give them your screen, your tagline,
Tagline? What do you mean tagline?
or your handle, your screen name?
What's that mean?
That's what you go by in your YouTube channel.
No.
Okay, so anyways, guys, we are on day 23 out of 56. Wow, we are approaching the halfway point. This has been a long one, but I've also been struggling with it. So, Justice, why don't you start with reading? Well, let me make sure that this has the live comments on so I can see that. And
Wow, we have one watching.
Hello, welcome. Where's that us? Live chat. And this one for Rumble is. Let's go to the live chat.
Webcam's on.
I think it is. Look at it.
Not on.
Look how professional that looks. We have one over here too. So.
Very professional.
I know. We're great.
Wait, you can donate to people on here?
I think so. On Rumble?
Wow. That is cool.
Oh, not that one. So welcome, Funsky40. How are you?
Is it Funsky or Funky?
I think it's Funsky or Fun Sky.
Fun Sky? I don't know. Whatever. O2. Hello.
I guess people can subscribe or give money on Rumble. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're reading from Revelation. Are you guys down for this? So this is actually the devotional to start off with. So Funsky, where are you from? And go ahead and read chapter right here where it says chapter 9, Justice. Me? Yes, sir.
Chapter 9 begins, that part?
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 9 begins with the fifth trumpet. The trumpet judgment displays God's power as well as his high holiness. God's word is transformative. We are to be holy as he is holy. As you spend time with the Lord today, think about what holiness looks like in your own life.
That's a great idea.
Hi, Chinese.
What's up, Jennifer? You got somebody Chinese, Japanese, Cobra 2.0, your Fa, and Jennifer, do we know you? Sounds like a very generic name. Chloe, or you, do you know him or him?
Him?
There's two gentlemen in the room.
What is that, Flora?
Mm-hmm.
Flora. Interesting.
Flora or
Fiona?
Oh, Fiona. That's cool. How did you change the? I don't know how you guys changed the font. There's somebody that's obviously from.
You could do it with like some, I don't know, the one drinking the water, the one in the drink. I know him. The one drink in the water, the one drinking water. Where do you know me from?
He's an actor. Is that what you're saying? And then make sure that Rumble.
Hello, what are you all doing? I don't know. We're doing Bible study.
We're doing Bible study. This is in the Book of Revelation. So this is an intense one.
I'm in first grade.
First grade, and you're doing Bible study with us. I'm impressed. So I'm not chugging the Bolt House Farms, although this was pretty good for my immunity. My health did get better, but this is BCAAs in here, so it's how I hydrate. So you're at Burger King, and
I saw you. I'm 6. How often do you all go live?
Isabella, I go live about almost every day, but not quite. I'm a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And where are you from, Isabella? How about Jennifer and Chloe? And Burger King. I haven't been
I
at Burger King. Were you at Burger King?
The last I've drove by there, but
In Colorado?
was at Burger King and I saw you. You probably saw somebody similar to me.
Yeah, we might have doppelgangers. All right, guys, you want to join us? We're going to read through some of the book of Revelation. This is Revelation 9. And Justice, I'm going to have him read, even though this is a tough book, because he's got to practice for school. He's got to bring those grades up.
No. You have pretty good grammar for a 5th grader. What?
Did you read that?
What?
Did you read you have pretty good grammar for a 5th grader?
No, that's just honest. Is your name Justin? No, it's Justice, but sort of.
Cobra 2.0, that's inappropriate. And Chloe, his name is Justus, not Justin, but everybody calls him Justin. All right, so go ahead, young man. If you need to use the cursor to follow along.
I don't like not having a mouse. Where?
At
The 5th angel. I thought I just read this part.
So I'm going to scroll up after you complete a sentence. I'll go like that, okay? So you know where you're at.
Which part am I at? I thought I
The
just
5th
read
angel.
this.
Nah, you read part of it.
I'm drawing. Nice.
You should draw us a picture of this, Jennifer. Go ahead.
The 5th angel sounded his trumpet, and I saw. Wow, that's a lot. The 5th angel sounded his trumpet, and I saw that had fallen from
No,
the sky.
I saw a star.
I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. The star was given the key to the shaft of the abyss. When he opened the abyss, smoke rose from it like the smoke from a gigantic furnace. The sun and sky were darkened by smoke from the abyss, and out of the smoke, locust
Yep.
came a locust. Came down on earth and were given power like
That.
because of your name is Justin. I
Hey.
know you. What? Who? Me?
Yeah, like that of scorpions of the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any plant or tree, but only those people who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads. They were not allowed to kill them, but only to torture them for 5 months. And the agony they suffered was like that of the sting of a scorpion when it strikes. During those days when people will seek death, but will not find it, they will long to die, but death will elude them. So we'll take a break and just see what you guys are
Hi.
up to. Kayleen, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. So start on verse 7.
Where?
This is the verse number.
I know. The locusts looked like horse prepared for battle on their heads.
Horses. There's an S.
Prepared for battle on their heads. They wore something like crowns of gold, and their faces resembled human faces, and their hair like women's hair, and their teeth like lion's teeth.
Wow.
They had breastplates plates of armor, and the sound iron, and the sound of their wings was like the thundering of many
horses and chariots rushing into battle. They had tails with stingers like scorpions, and in their tails they had power to torment people for 5 months. They had as king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek is Apollon, that is destroyer. Go ahead.
Where?
Jennifer, you're shy in class. Why do you feel shy? And Kayleen, yes, well, I'm a believer. Are you a believer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both are. Go ahead.
Where?
Verse 12.
The first war is
Whoa.
woe is past. 2 other woes are yet to come. The sixth angel sounded his trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from 4 horns of the horns of the golden altar that is before God. It said to the 6th angel who had the trumpet, release the 4 angels who are bound at the Greek river Euphrates.
Great river Euphrates.
Euphrates, and the 4 angels who had kept ready for the very hour and day and month.
This very hour and day and month.
Okay.
Just the words are important.
And year were released to kill a third mankind.
Of mankind. Not a third of your body.
The number of the mounted
troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000.
I heard their number. The horses and riders I saw, my vision looked like this. Their breastplates were fiery red.
Fiery.
Why is fire F-I-R-E?
F-I-E-R-Y.
Fiery red, dark blue, and yellow as sulfur. The heads of horses resembled the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and sulfur. A third of mankind was killed by the 3 plagues of fire, smoke, and sulfur that came out of their mouths. The power of horses was in their mouths, and their tails for their tails. The tails for their tails.
For their tails were like
snakes, having heads with which they inflict injury. The rest of mankind were not killed by these plagues, still did not repent of the word of their hands. They did not stop worshiping demons, idols of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, idols that cannot see or hear or walk, nor did they repent from their murders, their magic
arts, their sexual
immorality,
or their thefts. So all of the sins that they were committing, they did not believe were wrong.
Question mark, what are you doing? We're reading the Bible or a website. Got to go.
Yeah, well, Kayleen, that's awesome that you're a believer as well. We're reading from the book of Revelation right now.
We got some more comments. Scroll up a little.
Your cousin is not shy in class. Well, sometimes being shy is not a bad thing or a good thing. It just depends on the timing. Kayleen, he's doing good at reading. Yeah, that's a tough book. I agree. Ryan, we are reading through the book of Revelation. I am studying it in conjunction with this guy who did, I think he has 33 lectures, and he's a professor down in the Ozarks College down, I think, I'll look at that real quick. And then, yes, that was the Bible, Kayleen.
This stream is so delayed.
Yeah, it's probably to make sure that if anything goes wrong, then they can fix it. So right now, just so you know, we're on the Bible app. It's called the U version. So if you want to follow along, the picture in the thumbnail is actually the picture of the Bible study. If you download the app and you go to like Bible study plans.
Looks like an island.
Kind of like, it looks like a little tower, like a city tower, and then the city's behind it. But it's the same one in the thumbnail that we put on this Bible study. And on Rumble, here I'll post the link so you can actually see if you want to see what we are reading over there live.
4 viewers on Rumble.
Yep. And we'll copy the link. And you can read along. But we're going to listen to these.
You could just pin that if you want.
Can you?
Yeah. Here.
How do you pin it? See, he's teaching me.
Why this is so hard to click. There.
And it just stays up there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll do, in case Rumble wants to see on YouTube. We can welcome everybody here.
And you could, I think you can pin on Rumble. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a delay on Rumble. Nobody necessarily types in, but all right. So when we go into, so Shane Wood is doing this on.
Shane Wood.
This is the Q&A. I think I only got like 10 minutes in. So this is the Q&A, means question and answer, in case you didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe you did, but all right. So we're 10 minutes in. I'm going to start there. And then if you guys got questions, feel free to ask. And then we're going to look up
Wow.
different aspects because there was a lot of different. It's long, huh?
Yeah, you want to speed? You could like speed the sound up a little. It'll just sound.
Well, I only do little sections at a time.
Oh, okay.
So we might do 10 minutes, we might do 30. And if Justice gets his fill, then he can leave early.
And what the Bible's pointing me towards, that is as close as I can come to an answer.
Like.
You said that one of the problems you had with the rapture was that it's American theology. Did it have any spread throughout Europe since it originated in Europe?
This is interesting. Okay, this phenomenon has been actually, over the past 5 years or so, it's been very interesting because what I'm finding is that especially a lot of African countries now, because of Western
Yes.
missionaries coming and
I'm
saying
an
this is the
only
way it
child.
is, some of them I find very passionate about dispensationalism. Very passionate. Because they function in their society based off of honor and shame. And the one that brought them the saving knowledge of Jesus
could also
Christ,
go
they
on
will
my
not
computer.
contradict. Therefore, he says there's a rapture, there is one. Even if it makes absolutely no sociological sense when they look around them, it makes, well, I shouldn't say no sociological sense because I'm making a sociological argument. It doesn't make a sense in the sense of looking around them and seeing, is there a tribulation or not? But what it does show is that and sociologically their honor is attached to that. Europe, this is funny. I was shocked by this. Whenever I was over in Scotland last fall, not this past fall, but the one before, doing my PhD stuff, I wrote my first chapter on just kind of laying the terrain of the history of the study of Revelation in the past 300 years or so. And in that, I had about 15 to 20 pages just on the rapture theology, the different millennial positions that have really kind of taken root, the different literature that they've put out, and where they're headed. And then I moved on, was talking about how in the past 25 years, 100 years ago, people were really obsessed with historical intricacies like Ramsey and Colin Heber. The last 25 years, it's been Old Testament allusions, and then we'll talk. We can talk about where I want it to go in the future. But point is, all that is whenever I turned in my first chapter, the one thing my advisor said was, cut out all the stuff about the millennial stuff. And I said, what? And she goes, you can cut out that. She's like, no one around here even gives that a second glance. And I said, well, that's refreshing. She said, everyone here believes that that Revelation has a historical background.
She did that.
She
Yeah,
said,
I
you
think
won't find
typo.
these wacky theories really here at all. She said, so since you're writing for a UK audience, just cut it out. I was like, really? And then in my when I had to defend a year later my idea before the panel, one of the head of the program, Larry Hurtado, told me, he said, I don't want to see any Tim LaHaye or any Volver, any of that in your bibliography, because it's just we consider them on the fringe, the extreme. And it was just my context was totally blown, because I'm going, well, my word, that's like around every corner where I live. But where it just never really took root. It never took root in where Darby came from, which is maybe the reason why he kept coming over here. It just never did. And what's interesting was the church I went to whenever I was in Scotland was a church that was planted by Dwight L. Moody. And they didn't preach it. Actually, first Sunday I was there, they had a guest preacher from Dallas Theological Seminary that came in there to preach, and he found it in the parable, but everybody else was going, what? You know? That's the only time I heard it. And it was because somebody from America had come to talk about it. Well, he wasn't even supposed to talk about it, but he came in and talked about it anyway. All that to say, no, UK, it really isn't. It really isn't. But they've been around a little longer, and there's something to be said about wisdom of a country that comes with age.
Is it also possibly because of the whole Catholic origin?
You mean possibly? I mean, would that be?
She asked if it's to do with Catholic origin. I don't know if you guys could hear the questions from the students very well, but appreciate that. Nobody. Yeah, if you guys can give us likes, that's appreciated. But just push us up the algorithm. If you're not feeling it, then don't force yourself. Okay, so what he's talking about right now is just like the history of different nations. And I mean, I know that there's a lot of churches that are divided over this whole millennium theory, so I hope he goes more into that, because I am curious myself.
Oh, we
Or
got a comment.
Italy. I mean, UK is more Anglican than they are Catholic.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is a flavored water bottle.
Is it flavored or is it just scented?
I thought it was scented, that's why I got it, but it's just flavored, and then I figured out you could.
Is it sweetened?
Yeah, it's kind of like sweetened. I don't know if you want to be like bougie, you can get it. I don't recommend it that much. I mean, you could just get drink mixes, but my teacher doesn't allow flavored water, so I just got this, and then it's blue raspberry.
But it doesn't have the dye?
No.
in it? Okay. There you go.
Anglicans have a pretty, they have a strong, obviously, Catholic connection in the sense of their more liturgical connections, but yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Catholics, they don't buy into this at all. Not like, I have a book written by a Catholic scholar called "Will Catholics Be Left Behind?" And he's basically just saying this doesn't make sense with any of the history of the church that has ever come out. So why in the world would we buy into this? That's pretty much the conclusion of his book. Which, I'll be honest with you, one of the weaknesses of our movement is we don't know what the people before us are speaking. If I'm being flat out honest, one of the major weaknesses is we do not pay attention to church history enough. And a lot of the debates and a lot of the things we beat people over the head with, if we would just read what the first 300 years of people were saying, we'd realize what we were allowed to beat people with and what we weren't allowed to. But we don't pay attention to what they said. It doesn't matter. So we take...
I actually think that that's a great point, because a lot of people forget the historical component of this, and they think that it's just a religious, faith-filled exercise that's just like trying to paint this picture. But it's like, you go back in time, you can see many historical references. I mean, if you're going to believe in all the other historical texts or give them some validity, or they hold some degree of water, then why not the Bible too, right? But I think people kind of want to use it if it's convenient or not in their belief system, as far as their underlying rationale, if it was real or not, right? So, and I find the deeper conviction in the way that the 12 apostles or 12 disciples died.
12, 7, 6, and 3 are all like biblical numbers, or mentioned in the Bible a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, been a while.
What's up, Victory Peter? How are you? Welcome back, by the way.
use it however we want. Whenever I'm going, those early voices should be guides for us. It's called a cloud of witnesses. And the Catholics really do that well. And we should take notice of that. And we should follow their example, because they'll give us a more balanced perspective of a lot of these issues that seem really big, but in the grand scheme of the history of the church, they're foolish. If I can use that strong a language. Yeah, Natalia.
In your rapture lecture, you're saying this is an American phenomenon because people don't like to be uncomfortable. Like, feel like right now the tribulation hasn't started.
Yeah, it's very convenient. Yes.
Would you argue that, I mean, persecution isn't always just a gun to your face. Could be persecution like America, like that type of persecution that the fear is like excess of like materialism and stuff, and being able to resist that. So it's not a form of like seductive culture as well. It's not a form of like really persecution where kind of we're in such excess that we're like suffering a slow death of the soul.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But the people that are describing it, they don't see our comfort as a persecution. They see it as a blessing. So even that theology in and of itself plays into this. Because I do agree. I do think that we parallel the Odyssey more than anything. We're walking a very dangerous line. Hence the passage that you guys just wrote out today. Hello.
I'm going to give you guys a brief overview on what this book is. Do you want to read this? I'll count this for your reading. So I just start up here. So this is the book he was just talking about. Go ahead.
Will Catholics be left behind?
Critique.
Critique of the rapture and today's prophecy preachers. This book is though Catholic.
Thorough.
Thorough Catholic
Critique.
Of the popular
Fundamentalist.
Belief in the rapture.
Fundamentalist.
Okay,
go ahead.
in the rapture. The belief that Christians will be removed from the earth prior to the time of the tribulation and the second coming. It examines the theological, historic, and biblical basis for the rapture by carefully examining
Millennial dispensationalism. That will be in your future spelling test. The belief system in the Left Behind books and propagated by such biblical prophecy writers as Tim LaHaye and Hal Lindsey. Do you want to keep going?
Sure. Where? Written for both the lay person and the serious student. This book combines engaging popular approach with detailed footnotes and exhaustive research. Beginning with the big picture, it focuses first on key concepts such as
eschatology,
the
Parousia,
end times, the kingdom and the church. Olson then shows how fundamentalist
good job,
Arthur and Left Behind creator LaHaye. Many works on Bible prophecy are filled with attacks on Catholicism and
Catholicism. Hard for me to say.
And numerous misconception. Thumbs up, bro. You're doing great at reading. When I was your age, I couldn't read at all. I'm super impressed. Thank you. Victory,
Peter.
Yeah. Yeah, victory.
And what's up, Asia? How are you? Been a minute. So we're just listening to these lectures. That was a book reference, so I'm gonna write that down because I'm going through my books so that I can stay up to date on this and all my other education.
You're neither cold nor hot, you're lukewarm. I want to convulsively vomit you out of my mouth. So says the Greek word for spit. Really? That's how they're going to translate that? But, yeah, you're exactly right. We are in very dangerous persecution. Hence the reason why I'm saying it doesn't matter. I agree. It doesn't matter if you have a gun pointed to your head. This is the tribulation. This is the persecution. The reality is that what should be the most deadly persecution, we've changed in our vernacular to one of the things that God's given us as a blessing. Well, that's even really more convenient. Then I never have to deal with the rich young ruler passage. I can make as much money as I want and just be happy-go-lucky.
Let's see the chat.
The bottom line is, a blessing can become a curse really quick if it's not used for the kingdom. And America will have to give, I believe America will have to give an account for what we've done with the riches that we have. Now, who is giving them to us depends on how they're used, is what I would say. Bottom line is, if somebody's dying with their money, I'd say, yeah, Satan probably wants you to have more. If somebody's pouring their money into the least of these and taking care of the needs, I'd say, yeah, God probably is blessing you. Blessing or a curse. Now, not how you're going to use it, then I can tell you. So, it's very convenient if we look at our comfort as a blessing from God to say that he wants to perpetuate that with the rapture theology. Because whenever our comfort is going to be threatened, our material is going to be threatened, we get taken out of Dodge, we get to go up to heaven and hang out and get more comfort and riches. Wow, that's awesome. Man, that's selling a lot of books. Get more money, and then the whole cycle just goes over again. No, I agree with you 100%. That we are enduring a very dangerous persecution. But what this theology does is it preserves what is killing us. Hence the reason why I'm very passionately outspoken against it. Because of what it is doing to the church as a whole. It is not helping us. It is not drawing us closer to the red letters. It is pushing us further into the abyss that we think is the home we deserve. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, other thoughts, sorry. You black out, then you come back, and you're like, where am I at? You know.
So what do you guys think about that? I felt like that was really interesting. Today, church was actually on politics and Jesus. But I think it was Jesus and politics in that order is what he said, basically. So it was just the larger emphasis on having the Bible, following the Bible, and what Jesus and God say is what we should do, rather than what the political agenda is pushing. Not that Jesus shouldn't be in that, but that's I don't know. I like that because that's kind of the way that I approach this too, is I don't wholeheartedly agree with either side, but I do believe that you have to have God and Jesus as your guiding mechanism through the political landscape. Otherwise, you're going to get lost.
What else? Low sugar. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's where I stopped last time after that. I guess I went longer than I thought. Sorry if this is redundant for some of you guys.
Just from the conversation I had with my pastor back home, what are some of the major arguments for, like, the Jewish idea of recapitulation and people taking the propheticness of Revelation as a recapitulation? Let's say this is that, and using that and interpreting, I guess, prophecies of Revelation. Does that make sense?
Keep talking. I don't know if I've got a grasp yet.
Like if you were to say like why can't if in like the Apostles' Day after the resurrection the Jews were able to say, look, these are the fulfillments of that through Christ now. why would today's Christians not be able to say, look, these are the fulfillments of John's prophecies now?
Yeah.
In the recapitulation of the cycle, what are some of the arguments against that?
Again, this is kind of dealing with the question that David had before regarding how come I can't do with Revelation what they did with the prophecies of Joel and Amos. And my response to that is a couple-fold. Number one, when were they doing that? After it happened. Their perspective's a little different. They're not prognosticating, they're prescribing.
Flavor.
They're not saying this will happen in the future. They say, look what's happening right now.
But how is that?
Totally different.
How is that different than what, like if they were to say, look at what's happening in Egypt, or look at what's happening in Iraq. That is this. Like, it's already happening. How is that different? Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. But what I'm saying is that the hermeneutical methodology that we're wanting to do by taking Revelation on one hand and newspaper in another is not the hermeneutical methodology that the apostles were implementing. We think they're the same. We think even whenever Matthew says the word fulfilled, that it is defined in the sense of this was predicted. But it's not. He uses the word fulfillment to even talk about typology, which has nothing to do with prediction. It has everything to do with the fact that this is the thing. When you're a Jew, you believe the way that God moves throughout history is cyclically. Therefore, the things that look like Israel back here, it makes sense that they look like Jesus up here because that's the way he moves. He moves like this. So whenever he says, this is out of Egypt I called my son, this happened to fulfill what the prophet said. Out of Egypt I called my son. That wasn't a prediction about Jesus. Even the word fulfilled, I challenge. I say, how do you define fulfilled? What does that mean? Because we're thinking through hermeneutical methodology of A equals B, that A is fulfilled by B. That's not even the way the word fulfilled is used throughout Matthew. Just do a word study on it. And it's not always the same. Does he do that sometimes? Yeah, he does. But even when he does it, sometimes I'm uncomfortable with it. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14. And the virgin will be with child. Ooh, that's not what Isaiah was talking about. Was it? Was Isaiah talking about that? Go back to Isaiah's context. Was he telling the king that the way that they will know that they are not going to be destroyed is whenever a virgin, somebody that has not had a baby or has not had sexual intercourse, will have a baby? That's whenever they will know in Isaiah's time? No. What was he talking about? A young woman. Because that's the way the Hebrew word. Now, Matthew comes and says, but this is also this is fulfilled with Jesus, too. Why? Because he flips on his head. The word fulfilled doesn't always mean fulfilled. Just like the word forever doesn't always mean forever. My word, this class is going to take forever. That isn't what the word really means in that context, does it? Even in the Bible, look up the word forever. It doesn't always mean forever the way we want it to mean forever. Because language doesn't work that way. So, my response is this when it comes to Revelation. Number one, I believe you are changing the hermeneutical methodology with which the apostles were implementing what you are claiming that they're implementing. They are not doing what you're saying they were doing. You're assuming that they are because you think you've defined the words accurately, that I'm challenging that whether or not you know the definition of it all. Second, I have no evidence that this is the way in which Revelation needs to be interpreted. The only reason why you're doing that is because you don't understand what it is saying otherwise. Because also you have a misdefinition of the word prophecy. You think it must equal prediction, which we've already talked about that as well. And the third reason why is the only thing I can do is tell you what it said to them then, but I have no idea if this is going to be, if we're going to get on the other side of heaven and be like, it did work out that way. Because that's the perspective that even the gospel writers are writing from. And when we get that place on the other side of heaven, we look back, maybe we will be able to make some connections of Revelation that I don't have the privilege of making right now. And as a result of all of that, it seems very dangerous to me than to start making solid prognostications of the way in which the world's going to end, trying to match it up with a book that I think is answering totally different questions than what you're even putting on it. So is it possible that Revelation is laying out the way everything is? Sure. Is it probable? Not at all. See what I mean by that? Can I say with absolute certainty that it won't have any sort of future fulfillment at all? No, I can't say with absolute certainty. Because I wouldn't have been able to say with absolute
Those are
certainty about
X's
some of the things that Matthew said with absolute certainty was being fulfilled.
Chloe.
But certainty doesn't equal, well, I can't say that statement. At that point, there's as many interpretations as there are people, and I'm not comfortable with that. Because here's my question. The rapture index, which you can go to online, there's a rapture index that gives you a number that tells you how close the rapture is based on events. Whenever Hurricane Katrina occurred, it went up quite significantly. Here's what's interesting. Dr. Lowry at that time was over in Vienna teaching Revelation at Haus Edelweiss. Throughout that whole 3-week period when he got back, he didn't even know Hurricane Katrina happened. So, what events are actually being fulfilled depends on which newspapers you're reading. Because Hurricane Katrina didn't even make press overseas. So, how can I take into the account all the events that are happening over there as well? We think that we have this constant, clear picture of the way in which the world works because we're in such an information age, and yet WikiLeaks has shown us, actually, there's a whole other bunch of information you really don't know about. Oh, well, some of those may have been really important for us to know when the rapture was going to happen. But what I'm saying is to be able to look at the Bible and try to predict that stuff before it even happens, you'd have to be able to look at the whole picture, and we can't. We can only see from the context in which we have. Therefore, it's really easy for me to pick and choose what I want from the headlines and make them equal stuff. But at that point, like I said, there's as many interpretations as there are people. I'm not comfortable with that. Some people are, fine. Fine. But the conclusions that people have come to, here's my question. How many times can we get the prediction of the second coming wrong before people finally turn us off about the first coming? I wouldn't believe in all the yahoos if I was on the outside. I'm going, you morons have predicted Jesus coming back so many times and he hasn't. I have a book sitting on my desk right now that somebody sent me anonymously. I don't know who it was. But it's called God's Witness 2008. And this guy claims to be God's witness as a prophet under the lineage of Abraham on the back of the book. And his whole argument was, as he was writing in 2003 or something along those lines, that the world's going to end in 2008. And his whole book is predicting that. And guess what? That dude's a dime a dozen. And I have a website in my notes. You can email me for it. But it's a non-Christian that has listed all the predictions of Christians that have not come true. And at the end he says, and this is why I think they're all a bunch full of crap. And you know what? Can't blame him. And where in the Bible are we supposed to be predicting about the second coming? I thought about times and dates, 1 Thessalonians 5, but we shouldn't worry about, because we know it's going to come like a thief.
Have you?
I'm sorry, what somebody desires to do with the Bible, I am not convinced of when it goes against all the imagery that is used to describe the event that they're wanting to predict.
Yeah.
I must have.
I mean, my word, how many times does he need to say, it's coming like a thief, it's coming like a thief, it's coming like a thief? Well, but we can still predict it.
Depending on how.
Like, at that point, I would just be like,
We're
okay, you're not even
listening to this whole
listening to
thing
me.
already.
So just do what
You
you
did?
want then. I have no desire to do something that I feel like the Bible clearly is saying, don't. There's no point in it. The one thing I can tell you about predictions is that they've all been wrong so far. That's what they all have in common. They've all been wrong. Jack Van Impe, before he died not too long ago, I think it was Impe, claimed that 1988. 88 reasons why the rapture will happen in 1988. Didn't happen. 89 reasons why it will happen in 1989. Convenient. But what happened was everybody got on the bandwagon, all the prophecy experts. What it takes to get that title, I don't know. I guess I could just turn over on the other side of the bed and I'm a prophecy expert. And it doesn't matter how many I get wrong, I can still be one. That's awesome. Well, my goodness. Whenever the 40, because the reason why 1988 was so important, I don't know if I'd said this in the lectures you were listening to, but Israel was created as a nation in 1948. And Jesus says, within this generation, Matthew chapter 24, and they said generation, 40 years. Because that is what scholars have said a generation is. Well, 1988 came and passed, and guess what Hal Lindsey and Jack Van Impe and Tim LaHaye says now? Well, a generation can be anywhere from 40 to 120 years. That's convenient, because whenever you're long dead and gone, then you get proved wrong. Wow! At that point, my word, I can sell anything. All I have to do is just say, well, you know, the world is going to end in 2112. Buy my books. It's impossible. I mean, so in other words, what I'm saying is let's judge it by its fruit. Is the practice possible? Sure. Is it healthy? Far from it. Because it's done nothing but cause fear, frenzy, bad theology, borderline heresy, and false predictions. Sorry. I don't want that. I don't want that on my rap sheet. I don't want it. I don't want to try to convince people they'll have a second chance within their lifetime because the rapture is happening soon. I don't want it. I know a guy that one of his good friends said that he refused to totally commit to Jesus because he wants to be left with the rapture so he can help people.
What do you guys think about this? I'm curious opinions up to this point. I don't know if you guys have them, but I also know that it's just very it's an interesting thing to me. I'm also curious about this young man. Is he about to have a girlfriend? Chloe, he would probably have to meet you. So
Who knows? He might be a 60-year-old man.
yeah, he's been watching his father talk to fake women on the internet. It happens.
You mean fake men?
It might be men, it might be women, who knows. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny until it happens to you. But anyways, what do you guys think about the book of Revelation? Don't know if you looked at that. That was interesting in that gotquestions.org. I'll pull that back up and read some of that to you.
That's what we're producing? What is wrong with us? Why don't we finally just stop and say, let's see if this really makes sense fruit-wise? How are we supposed to judge false prophets? By their fruit.
I agree. I think you should judge whatever you're doing through it's the wisdom, discernment, and be able to judge by the fruit. That is the only time I think we're supposed to. Chloe, you can send your dating application to I'll put the email so then he can review it. But I'll make sure that you're 13 before I let you chat with him. Sound good?
I don't care.
All right. So I think this is interesting. So this is just something that, where did that go? What are you doing? Hold on, I'll pull this back up here. Okay. The date of writing, the book of Revelation was likely written between AD 90 and 95. And this is the purpose. So those of you that can't see what I'm looking at, this is gotquestions.org. It's actually a really good resource. But says the purpose of writing this is, do you want to read again? Right here. Come on, you got to get your reading up.
I'm fine.
Go ahead, young man. Waiting for you.
The revelation of Jesus Christ was given by John by God. Was given by John by God.
To John by God.
Okay. To show his servants what must soon take place. This book is filled with mysteries about things to come. Its final warning that the world will surely end and judgment will be certain. It gives us a tiny glimpse of heaven and our glories awaiting those who keep their robes white. Revelation takes us through the great tribulation with all its woes
Woes.
and the final fire that all unbelievers will face for eternity. The book reiterates the fall of Satan and the doom he has, and his angels are bound for. We are shown for the duties of all creatures and angels of heaven, and the promise of the saints that will live forever. Jesus in the New
Jerusalem.
Like John, we find it hard to describe what we read in the book of Revelation.
Okay, so it gives a couple key verses, which I think are interesting. Sure, well, you can give your phone number.
Because,
Okay, so the brief summary, do you want to read that?
Where? No.
Okay. Well, okay. So we'll do some more of this later, but you want to do your own stuff here? You want to wrap up? Because we're about halfway through.
Sure, and then can I go either play a game or upload videos on Rumble?
Sure, that's fine. So, all right. So, guys, we're gonna wrap up actually. Just since I made you guys sit down for 45 minutes, but I appreciate
50.
or 50.
Or, wait,
Oh, I guess yeah, we're further
51
ahead.
minutes and 45 seconds.
So I appreciate you guys hanging in there almost an hour, and you too.
Thank you.
yeah,
My
you're-
eyeballs are like falling out.
Well, that's because I accidentally kicked him in the eyeball last night.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I'm sorry, I'm back.
So here's my email.
I thought I said I'm sorry, I'm black for a minute.
thekiowa@gmail.com. There you go. And
That's his.
that's my email. And once I verify that you're not a 60-year-old man, then you can chat with him. Or verify that you were a
DM's
13-year-old
open.
girl. So anyways, let's just pray. I don't know if you guys need any prayer, but I always like to open that up to everybody. So if you're interested, I definitely send, taking prayer requests. Do you have any?
No.
Do you want to pray or you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say thank you, God, for everyone that joined tonight. Also, thank you for Pastor delivering a difficult message on politics and how they interact with our biblical approach to life and how we should let the Bible shape our opinions and perspectives. I think that was really a valuable sermon. God, just let that seep into all of our minds, bodies, and souls. And just pray for God, give us your wisdom, give us your ability to judge things by their fruits, give us the ability to avoid sin in our lives, allow us to choose you above all else and live for you beyond our own desires. But we just pray that we give you our best and are good stewards of the time that we have, whether that's a short time or a long time. We just pray that we do our best with this time on earth. Thank you for the opportunity to be in this Bible study and share the Word of God with all of these people. Thank you for them to pour back into us as well. I just appreciate that. And God, I just say thank you for the ability to serve the people that I work with and for. Love these people. And I just pray that I can continue doing my best for them. And pray for Max, that he pipes down. He's very noisy. But anyways, God, just thank you for all that you do. Thank you for showing up for us in the times that are tough. Pray for, there's two specific men that I am kind of mentoring right now. I just pray for you to give me the strength and patience to endure as they struggle with women in their lives that they are being difficult to deal with and just not acting in the best. One is specifically not acting in the best interest of the children. I ask that she released that control and whatever might be forcing her to do that, unless there's a good reason. And if that's the case, then allow me to just give wise counsel to these men, wise biblical counsel. But thank you for all that you do. I pray your wisdom, your protection over everybody that's involved in this channel, all of our friends and family. Pray that specifically over Justice. I just pray, God, that you allow him to enjoy school this week. Find a few things that he can really enjoy. And may they be healthy and God-honoring. And for anybody else that's struggling with anything, just allow them to lift up their heart to you and communicate with you on what that might be. In your name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for holding tight with us, guys, as we got through that. Pray for Max so he doesn't get a spanking. He's very chatty through this.
We'll get a water bottle spray.
A little spray, yep. All right. Love you guys. Good night and God bless. And we are out.
For this part.
For both of them.
You gotta, yeah.
I almost canceled. Did I cancel?
And